Up to this point, even though we've been dealing with some dynamic values being passed through the path, our titles have remained static. So oftentimes, if we're going to be using dynamic content, our titles will also need to be dynamic as well. So that's what we're going to cover in our next example. Go ahead and jump to your module directory, and then open up the 8th step, which is called title callback. Go ahead and copy all of the code and paste it over the current code in your pages.module file. Okay, go ahead and scroll up to the top to our hook menu definition and go to the bottom of that. So we've added a new item here. The path is pages/title/wildcard. And what we're doing in this is just demonstrating how to create a dynamic title based on a placeholder. So in previous examples, we've taken the placeholder and used that in the page callback function. And the same type of structure that you can use for that placeholder that we did up here, for example, we can use for a title callback as well. So if we take a look at the parameters being passed through this items item, the description is example of a dynamic title. We're giving it a page callback of pages render array, and this is just a page callback we've used for several previous examples that just renders some HTML content on the page. We're giving it access callback of true, which means anybody can access this page. And we're giving it a new parameter called title callback, and we're giving it a value of pages title callback. And this is the name of the function that will get called and passed any parameters we want to pass it to render the title for this page. If we're going to pass it an argument, we also need to define the title arguments parameter, and we're going to use the same structure that we did above and pass it the parameter based on its location in the path. So pages, in this case, will be the first argument, which corresponds to a 0 number, just like with most arrays. And anytime we're dealing with arguments, the first will always be 0, which means the next is 1 and the next is 2. So because our placeholder is here in 2, we're going to go ahead and grab that in the title arguments as number 2. Let's go ahead and scroll down to the bottom where we define our title callback. It's right here, pages title callback, and we're grabbing an argument. And then we're returning a simple string that says there is an argument in this title, and then displays the argument name. Okay, let's go ahead and save this page, and then jump back to our browser. And we need to flush our caches in order to register our new page. And I'm going to jump back to the code and copy the path for our new item here. It's pages/title/ and then a placeholder. And I'm going to paste that into the address bar of our browser, and I'm going to replace this placeholder with some value. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so now our title is there's an argument in this title, and then the name of our value here. Oftentimes what we'll want to do is take the parameter that's passed and grab some additional information. We might want to replace the title with a username or a node title, something like that. And we can do so in that title callback. Right now we're just taking the parameter being passed to the callback function and rendering it directly, but we can run it through some processing and grab any data that we would need to in order to display a more informative title here.